A very good evening to you all. Buenas noches. I am pleased to be here with you tonight at the opening of this important conference in the year that Guyana is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its independence. For UNICEF, this event represents the Caribbean's commitment, promise, and robust political will to work together to build a stronger and better international legal environment for children and adolescents as it relates to private international law and for the protection of children. All Caribbean countries are very closely interlinked from historical, cultural, economic, and geographical perspectives. This is an important moment for all countries to make a collective commitment to strengthening their private international legal systems according to international standards to better protect their citizens and children in particular. Take a moment to step into the shoes of a child. You still have a good life, go to school, and are well cared for. Now, imagine that one day, someone you are familiar with picks you up from school, as he or she might do, but instead of taking you home, he or she takes you to the airport. Perhaps you are excited as you get on the plane together, thinking of where you will go and what you will see. But soon, you realize that this is not a holiday and that you are not going back home. You begin to miss your family and friends you have known all your life. Perhaps it is very cold and you have never experienced winter. Perhaps you do not understand how the new people around you behave and speak. Nobody makes cook-up or curry or your other favorite foods. You ask when you will go back home, but they tell you, this is now your home and you are not going back. How would you feel? Sad? Lonely? Angry? Anxious? Unsafe? The longer it takes, the more you probably feel disconnected and confused because your whole world has changed. It may affect your health, your education, your hope, and your of being protected. Perhaps you are not even going to school anymore. Unfortunately, this is the sad reality for many children and their families around the world. The impact of abduction can be devastating and long-lasting for both the children involved and their family members left behind. Although no one can dispute the horror and significance of a child abducted by a stranger, this is the least likely type of abduction to occur. A child is more likely to be abducted by someone he or she knows and trusts. Although not every abduction is preventable, steps can be taken to reduce its likelihood. These steps have to be made within systems with a strong legal basis rooted in international norms and principles aimed and realizing children's rights. The Convention on the Rights of the Child establishes that the best interests of the child should be a primary consideration about a child's present and future. With the advent of international agreed human rights, the best interest approach was deemed redundant for adults, but not for children. Quite the contrary, the notion was turned into a principle in the Convention on the Rights of the Child. All countries in the Caribbean have made a commitment to the full realization of children's rights while ratifying the Convention. As you know, the Convention of the Rights of the Child and its optional protocols provides a holistic framework in which economic, social, cultural, civil, and political rights of children are enshrined. On the other hand, private international law does not set human rights standards directly. However, it builds on those standards by establishing concrete requirements for their respect through the procedures it puts in place in the fields that it covers. In doing so, private international law not only reflects human rights law, but also complements the standards it sets by giving a practical dimension to implementation. This is clearly a key factor when applying the best interests of the child principle to the Hague Convention. Tonight, my message is very simple. Let us remember this powerful principle of the best interests of children in all our actions and all of our decisions, and let us support our countries in abiding to international private law so as to enhance their capacities to better protect children and put their best interests first. I commend those countries that have already taken steps in this direction, and I encourage the others to follow. Let's make this dream come true, not for UNICEF or for the Hague Conference, but for all Caribbean children. Excellency, Mr. President, you know better than me. You are doing that. The time to act is now. We can. Promoting equity, a fair chance for every child is a choice we can make, a choice we must make for their future and the future of our world. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias.